Alrighty, we are live, and we've got another person trying to join us, and they are having trouble, and that's why we are late. So just a second, let me send them another. Alrighty. Send out another invite. Okay, now let me find the chat. And if I'm not mistaken, wait, what were you going to say, Moni?
Nothing. Hello.
Okay.
I was just going to look for, try to get on the chat. So maybe I can try to do that properly this time.
Wait, what were you going to say, Moni? Okay. Hello. Okay. Hey, Eduardo. Hey, Nancy. How y'all doing? All right. So what I was going to say is, hey, Amanda. Carrie, hey, I don't know why you were unable to get on. We need to, I'm not good at sending links. You know, I mean, I know how to put the links in, but we need to send her a link. And I mean, I keep sending her invites. I'm not sure why she can't get on. Do you know what I mean? But if I'm not mistaken, this is at our 12. Yeah, I know, Nance. But Carrie McDonald was going to come on with us. And I'm sending her invites, but she's having trouble logging on them. Oh, send her one more. Hit the gray band. You should be able to just click the gray band in your Hangouts and jump right in. Like it'll ask you, is it okay? And you check the box, yes, it's okay. And you should be able to jump right in here. Hey, Brandwick. Ask you, is it okay? Uh-oh, sorry. Is that your phone? Okay. Brandwick says, hello, ladies. I'm leaving my house for work in about 10 minutes, but I'm listening until then, and I'll catch the replay tomorrow. Well, thank you very much. All right. I just want to say that this shirt and this ring are a couple things that a good friend of mine, LS, gave me. And she was just such a sweet person. And I used to just always, this shirt, I love a 3/4 length sleeve because I have a lot of scars on my arms and it has little sequin patches. And I used to always just be like, oh, Laura, I love that shirt. I love that shirt. And finally one day she's like, Jennifer, have the shirt. I know you love it so much. So in honor of her, it's good to see you again, Brandwick. Oh, Nancy, thank you. She says, Moni G, Nancy says you look beautiful tonight. So anyway, in honor of LS, I have on a ring she gave me, and she had one that was very, very similar, and a shirt that she finally gave me because I used to always exclaim that it was the perfect shirt because I really like plain things and whatnot. So in honor of her. But I'm going to do the chapter overview real quick. And this, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's at our 12. Sorry for amateur hour there, but I'm almost positive that chapter 44 audiobook, 45 book was at art 11. And then it was a Sansa chapter. And then here we are at art 12. Okay, so.
Hey, Russell.
As a matter of fact, Russell did just walk through. Russell, do you want to come make a little appearance?
Do the Russell.
I kind of take offense to that word, little appearance.
Do the Russell. Look, Moni has a song for Russell.
I'm doing the Russell.
No song. What? Hello, everybody.
All right, let me take my headphones out so you say hello.
Hello.
Hello, Russell.
Hey. Hey. I just I need to make me one more drink before I go to bed.
All right.
Oh, you roll on my toe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jennifer, do the hustle. Oh, hey.
That's the Russell.
She's doing the Russell?
Yeah. We got your dance. You got your own dance.
All right.
Nancy T says, hey. Hey, Al. It's good to see you. I want you to do, I like some sports. I am I rep my city. I mean, Saints, 100%. I want you to talk about the Saints. Al said, hey to you, Russell. Al, Russell asked me because I had canceled all the pay channels before Con to save money. And he's like, what's the date, baby? He's like, look, I really need you to get the sports package back by the 28th because Tulane is playing. Yeah, he's not an LSU fan. He's a Tulane fan. So.
Oh, Greenway.
And Eduardo says hello.
Hey.
All right, so we start out the chapter, and Ned Stark is in pain. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever had a broken bone. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had a broken bone. I haven't personally ever had anything but a broken toe, and I think a finger.
You had a broken nose.
I have had several broken noses, you guys. My best friend growing up, Courtney, one time we were out in Baton Rouge, and I said something rather offensive to her, and she smacked the fuck out of me. Y'all, when I tasted the blood, I knew. When you got two black eyes after somebody punched you, you got your nose broke. You got your ass whooped. I mean, one hit. Anyway, I always want Courtney on my side. That's all I have to say about that. Yes, I need a nose job to get that shaved down. But, okay, so you guys know whenever you have an injury, a burn, anything, if it's itching, it's getting better. And Pycelle, and this is one of the only, to me, this is one of the only really, like, what's the adjective I'm looking for here? Any quote of any like serious meaning from Pycelle when he says, pain is a gift from the gods, Lord Eddard. And I believe that's true to an extent because, you know, life is pain. And if you're feeling pain, you know that you're living. You know what I mean? You also know that you're healing. You know, it would be bad if he didn't feel anything. Also, he leaves him some milk of the poppy. And Lord Eddard's like, man, I'm already sleeping too much, you know, because he feels probably like he's losing control. And Maester Pycelle also says that sleep is God's great healer or something like that. And I find that to be true as well. And then Maester Pycelle proceeds to tell all Cersei's business, how she got a raven from Casterly Rock, yada, yada, yada. But Ned knows that he's Cersei's spy. So we always get people talking about how stupid Ned is. But actually in this chapter, Ned pretty well knows what's going on around him. And he wonders if it's Jon Arryn who knew. And he even kind of makes a veiled threat to Pycelle that, like, you don't want Robert to know. But the truth is, he's not even that confident in Robert by the actions that he's taking, killing Lady, you know, being on the side of wrong, basically when he knows he's on the side of wrong. And Ned sees all this in this chapter. So then we get, he thinks to himself, you know, from the mouth of babes. And again, last week was the Sansa chapter. Well, hey, Bubba, when he finally realized when she said, Joffrey's nothing like that old drunk, that's what it is. Those are not Baratheons. Those really are Lannisters. And Ned thinks to himself, you know, one day I'll have to actually tell Sansa, if it wasn't for her, I never would have figured out that Joffrey was a freaking incest bastard, basically. So then Littlefinger shows up, okay? And Littlefinger, Ned wants to trust him because he knows he's alone and in a precarious situation, but he trusts him not really. And Littlefinger tells Ned Tywin's business and how Joffrey has returned from the hunt with his father and how they were trying to get, and remember how last week I said that supposedly there was some kind of symbology about white hearts, but I couldn't find what it was.
Yeah.
They say they were trying, that he was very upset he could not get the white heart of the silver stag. What does that make you think of? That makes me think of a Baratheon and a Targaryen. So maybe if Cersei, because we're getting all these, you know, who's all seen the theory videos about Gendry is really Cersei's kid? Well, if Cersei really is a Targaryen bastard, he would be a silver stag. Maybe. I don't know. I saw a really good video or a comment by Gray Area where she was like, people, please just stop with that shit. And at the time, that's how I felt. But that's immediately what came to me when the white hart, the silver stag, etc., and it was killed by wolves. So that's another thing that Robert was super mad. And then so somebody tells him, yeah, well, we've seen this great boar in the forest. So he continues the hunt, but Joffrey comes back and then, Ned is thinking, man, I don't trust Littlefinger, but I trust Varys even less. And then I know Pycelle is Cersei's creature. And then he's like, Van Poole is taking Arya and Sansa on the Wind Witch. And he thinks, he thinks about how Robert turned people who kind of went against him in his war. As long as they were brave and honest, he, like Barristan Selmy, but he even thinks to himself, Barristan Selmy is an old man who will just be like, do your duty, which kind of called back to when I think Jaime was like, 500 men stood here and watched your father and brother burn. You think any of them said anything? It was silent as a fucking crypt in here. Don't look at me. I mean, nobody lifted a fucking finger, not even the people you think are your partners, writing in the mirror, baby. So basically, Ned knows he's in a precarious situation. And so he calls in Van Poole and he sends out a letter. And Van Poole even looks at the letter and is like, dude, are you sure? He's sending it to Cersei to meet him in the Godswood. And this is when we get the very famous line from the show, which she does say in the book, you guys who are just now reading the book. He says, Ned says he does regret sending off half his guard and the best swords because he thinks that Fat Tom, who is the head of the guard right now, that he has to call to help him get to the Godswood. And Van Poole, Fat Tom, so she meets him in the Godswood at sunset. And this is when he warns her and she admits about Bran. She says, yeah, he saw him. And Ned confronts her with the seed of strong. And he says he went back 1,000 years to every Lannister Baratheon coupling there ever was. And there were several. And there was not one child that was born where the blonde-haired gene was dominant in 1,000 years of Lannister Baratheon couplings. So she tells him about being pregnant by Robert once and says Jaime found a lady to cleanse her out, which she means had an abortion. She says she hadn't done Robert in years. And Ned asks why she couldn't love him. And she tells him, and yes, y'all, this is in the book, the story about how their first night he got drunk, crawled on top of her, and then said Lyanna, which we all know would be hard as hell to get over, arranged marriage or not, okay? And then she tries to seduce Ned because he basically tells her she has to go in exile and even tells her, take your brother and your father too. Because I'm going to tell Robert the truth when he gets back from the hunt. And that's when we get the famous line after she tells him, your mistake, you should have sat your own ass down on that Iron Throne. And then she says, when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. There is no middle ground. And she puts her hood up and leaves. And Ned stays under the blue-black sky and the stars come out. So actually, Ned knew everything that was going on around him. He was in a precarious situation. I think that he counted on other people being as honorable and thoughtful and as nice as him. And in the end, well, we just know the world, it doesn't work like that. Moni, what did you get out of that? What are you thinking?
Back to, I want to, all right, at the very beginning, was it Ned who said, if you don't feel pain, you're not alive? Is that what you said?
He did not say that. I said that.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, I don't remember.
In fact, what it was is Maester Pycelle, when he told Maester Pycelle that it itched and it hurt, he said to him, that is nature's way of letting you know that it's getting better. So I just equated it to, it would be, if he wouldn't be feeling it, it'd be meaning probably that he would lose his leg. So kind of like, you're alive when you are feeling pain. Are you drinking a beer?
Okay. Yes.
Shit, I'm going to get a shot. Okay, everybody.
Yeah.
Get you a shot, some Gatorade, whatever you got.
Yeah. Yeah, amen to that. So, when you were doing your overview, it was tricky for me this week. I wasn't as prepared as I was last couple of weeks, but when the
bourbon and I'm swerving. I heard that little Troy song today. You know, it's about that. I want to be a baller. Oh my God.
with the White Heart passage, and I do have a book here. I have to look it up, right? But okay, Sansa, was she just daydreaming about that, and then but she said it was a dream to be more
she said it was I think in the stories that it was something like that. It was in the last sentence of chapter though, and I took it like white hearts are supposed to be symbolic of something, but I googled it or whatever and I didn't find anything. Chat, y'all got anything on what white hearts are supposed to be symbolic of? I've never heard anything like that. You know, I've heard other kind of stuff, but not that.
And so Joffrey came back from the hunt relaying this story about a white heart?
No, I think it was just mentioned, you know, that we'd have to go back to that, but something about white hearts were symbolic of pure love or something like that.
Where are you? We need you.
I just sent her another link.
I know it. But all
right, Bran, have a good night at work. Let me mention this though. When Ned confronts Cersei in the Godswood, she confronts him about, who are you to judge me? You know, Robert's got up 10 million bastards. I seen your bastard. And why did Ashara Dane, and I'm saying this for you, Bubba Husky, why did Ashara Dane jump off a damn cliff and kill herself? Because what's the deal behind that? And so yeah, Cersei confronts Ned but he doesn't give up anything. Okay, and Bubba Husky says the white hearts is just like, I don't know, the way I'm reading this is like, you know, when you think you're in love with somebody or whatever, and they take you to the fair and they win you the prize, and it's like, oh, my hero. I think Bubba Husky's saying the white hearts are equated to something like that. Like, yeah.
Well, I know in like, okay, on Mother's Day, if you know how they'll pass out carnations at church or something, or if you wear a red carnation, it symbolizes that your mom is still alive. If you wear a white carnation, it symbolizes that your mom is passed.
Okay, see, I didn't know that.
So maybe
that's very good.
Maybe that has some kind of symbolic meaning.
I mean, I certainly know on Mother's Day, if you take your mother to church, and I'm telling you, that's something that I'm just giving a piece of advice here. I was telling Russell's daughter one year, she's like, what can I get my mama, you know, my he's French for grandmother. What can I get her? I said, you want to get her something? Take all the kids and everybody and y'all go meet her at 4:00 mass and go to church with her, then maybe go out to eat afterwards. That's all she wants. And she was so proud that, you know, most of her living family showed up together, because that's what little old ladies do. They go to church. You know, it's comforting, things that you've done your whole life. My mom really finds comfort in that.
So, yes, so I do know that about flowers, but I'm still I don't know about the white heart, but I thought that did strike me this week about that they found that on the hunt, right? But he didn't make the kill, I thought. So he was still, that's why he kept on going, because he wanted to get the boar. And this has already been, how long has he been gone? They did mention it in here. It's almost been 2 months already.
He's been gone a long time. Like, I mean, I think Joffrey came back after a month.
Hi, Pete. So, right, Joffrey came back after a month, so he's been gone still another month.
And so who told him about this boar? I find that very suspicious. Of course, there didn't end up being one, so
they Pete wasn't on the hunt. And so we know later that Cersei was paying her little boy toy, who ends up being turncoat Starhead, to get him wasted, right?
Right.
So he gets
right. Lancel is his squire, and he made sure that he was never thirsty. I think definitely that's what they say on the show. I'm trying to turn on. I'm trying to get to where we can get Carrie to join us. I'm having trouble here.
I know it. I've been on that other side, Carrie, and I wish I knew how to do it, and I don't. I'm completely
okay. Hold on, I got it. I think.
So, because I know she could.
I got it. Hold on.
Now we're
All right, I just sent the link to you, girl.
Thank
you. You should have it. Sorry, everybody. I'm not that smart. Really, I'm not very computer smart, and this is a true story. The guy that used to help me do my computer, he killed his pregnant girlfriend and her parents, and then set their house on fire. No shit. The dude who helped me in computer that I went to junior college with. So I mean, shit.
Yeah.
All right, Al.
Hey.
Okay, there's Carrie. Okay, I
figured finally.
I'm very proud.
Yay.
I'm gonna get a shot of whiskey on that. I taught myself something.
Yay.
I see your comment, Bubba, about the legend of the white stag, and I'm sure like all cultures kind of have those stories.
Yeah, read Bubba Husky's comment, Moni, because that's exactly so. Like a white-tailed deer.
About how rare albinism is.
So this silver stag is probably.
Stag. Well, are you gonna let me read it?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Think about. Wait, no, he's scrolling up. Come back. Shit. Okay. Think about how rare the albinism is. There's probably only one albino stag. People have been hunting. Oh, now that damn arrow's in my way. Oh. Anyways, they've been hunting it for years. It's a lost creature. You get what he's picking up. I picked up what he's putting down. So, yeah, true. There's like that. They don't always have to be an albino, though. Like, do they always have to have pink eyes? Like, sometimes it's just like the crazy white.
Okay, you know what? And basically by Eddard telling Cersei that he's going to tell Robert the truth.
Yeah.
He did get him killed. So it could just be as simple as that. It could not mean what I was saying earlier about everybody trying to say Cersei is, if she is Targaryen, and if Gendry's really her kid, making him Lannister Targaryen, making him a silver stat. That's just what popped in my head. But it could just be as simple as that's Robert and Ned got him killed by saying what he was going to do. But then it could be more than that. I don't know. Call me crazy.
Crazy. But what about?
I'm sorry, Carrie. But look, I know now how to do it. I had to do it from my phone. You didn't miss nothing.
I'm having to do it from my phone too. So, and it's not getting links sent to me, and I've got my original phone back, and I've just got to set it up. Take the time.
And I completely understand. So. Y'all, my phone, I told myself I'm going to use it till it won't go no more. Look how cracked up it is. That happened before
I've had a dog.
And I was
I've had a dog chew one.
Worse to spend at con than to have a nicer phone.
I have a dog that has chewed on it. My beagle, I have dropped it.
To chew.
Yes, that's why I'm afraid of him coming over. But Charlie's, he's sweet.
You know what? I actually hate this white couch, but the reason I keep it is because I don't care if the dogs and everybody gets on it, and it's very comfortable.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. And then we have a gate we put up there, and your door closes, and my yard's fenced. I'm telling you, you good. Y'all, Carrie gonna come stay by me, supposedly New Year's.
Yes, my daughter is marching in the marching band at Pinson Valley High School, percussion section leader, and they're marching in the Sugar Bowl.
It's so awesome.
On New Year's Eve. Yes, very much so.
Just anybody. Okay, here goes Bubba Husky. Deer hide, even the earth tone colored ones, if one were white, it would probably stay hidden even more often. I mean, certainly against the snow, but it doesn't snow very much in King's Landing. What do you mean, Bubba? What do you mean?
Oh, I get what he means. Like up in the north, a white stag would survive longer.
Oh, I definitely think so.
But not in the summer necessarily, but in the winter.
And this is completely off topic, but has anybody seen that movie with Josh Brolin and Danny McBride called The Legacy of the White-tailed Deer? It is effing hilarious. You guys watch that movie. It's streaming. Danny McBride, Josh Brolin, Legacy of the White-tailed Deer. I swear to God, it's worth watching.
I don't know. I just think the white deer, white hart, white anything, it's just a mystical beast.
Okay.
I don't know if the coloring has anything to do. I mean, the color obviously does.
Girl, the reason we went there because last week, specifically in the Sansa chapter, you know, she was talking about how the heroes go up and touch the mythical creatures. They don't kill them. And there was something about white hearts. And I had Googled it, and I you know, symbolism of it or whatever. And I really didn't find anything about something that went with this game or another people play. So.
Well, also, she made up a story about how she dreamt, even though she was just thinking it, but dreams are more prophetic, that Jeffrey cut out a white heart and presented it to her, and you know how magical that was, and Arya was like, what?
Yeah, and Joffrey doesn't go up and touch it. He shoots it with a golden arrow.
Right.
You know, because she knows he likes to kill animals.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and Arya totally busted that and said, no.
So naive.
Right. But Sansa was like, what? Joffrey's a killer, so.
Right.
I think that was definitely symbolic of the fact that he does kill more than, like, he's working his way up to being a killer.
Yeah, but
in a sadistic ass way, not in a I'm protecting myself way.
I know.
He's a psychopath.
Right.
But what about that was, even though that was in her thoughts, and even though some people will argue with me that Sansa isn't an emotional warg, which I disagree, because some people say she
Eduardo Blanco's
Direwolf is dead, which, yes, Jen, we will have to do a thing on that another time. But so let's say that her just thinking about it, even though she had to say she was dreaming about it, but she wasn't, she was just thinking about it. And then Joffrey comes back with this story. Doesn't that connect? Kind of?
Kind of. You could put it that way, but Eduardo said, and I think Eduardo's got it here, that's a symbolic way to kill innocence.
And
I think that's making a lot of sense, especially the way that Sansa chapter ended, where her leaving King's Landing was just going to be the end of her life.
Absolutely. I concur with that, Eduardo, my dear sage. But I also think that not only is it an ending of her innocence, and then this next chapter, her dad's perspective is Joffrey. He didn't have to mention all this about Joffrey coming back in a white hart on the hunt, but Robert's still out there trying to get the boar. And after he figured out everything, you know what I mean? That was just kind of like tossed in. It was tossed in for our benefit because Sansa said all that crap the chapter before, in my opinion.
I agree, because I mean that's the only and I don't really. Oh man, you always pick up so much on a reread. You really, really do.
I know everybody kept telling me that, but after I just had read it the first time, and they were like,
I mean, because I had completely forgotten about how Cersei basically, called Ned a hypocrite and justified herself the way they always have with the Targaryens wed brother and sister for thousands of years. Don't you have a bastard yourself? What happened to Ashara Dane exactly? Did you take her child? I had completely forgotten about that little conversation.
Oh, I did. I remember that
part of it now. And that's what you also miss, Carrie. That is one of the best quotes I think we can all agree of the series. Chat, get me here if you think when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. There's no middle ground. That really is in this chapter in the book. That's when we get them meeting in the Godswood. And also about her telling Ned, you made the mistake by not sitting on the Iron Throne yourself if you wanted everything to be good and just and right, basically.
I was going to wear my t-shirt tonight. Yeah, I was going to wear my t-shirt tonight that has that quote.
Great. It looks great. I was going to say something about it.
No, this is a different one. I have a stack of shirts and stuff, but it's the one that says you win, play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. And then there's one in this chapter about I cannot, return your dead to life and the things like that. And that's another famous, iconic quote.
Yeah, that was in our last Eddard.
Last chapter. I'm so sorry.
No,
you're fine. You're good. Anything you have to add, most welcome.
We totally were mashing the two Eddard chapters last time.
I mean, that's what it gets so confusing is because literally it's Eddard, and then last week was Sansa, and then the week before that was Eddard. So yeah, I mean, it's so easy to get the source material and the show mixed up. I mean, it really 100% truly is. And if you say you don't get it mixed up, and you're a genius, because I've always been good at facts and things like that. And it's hard for me, especially if you're going to include the big book or, the Silmarillion of Game of Thrones, as well as the Duncan Egg stories, the Princess and the Queen, and the Ice Dragon too. Okay, so
I went through my original old book, and wrote every chapter a number next to it, next to the name. So that helps me keep up with
awesome. Right. This is chapter 45, right? At our 12?
47 is what I have.
Oh, really?
It gets tricky.
It's 47. It's 47
because they count the prologue as a chapter.
No, this one does. The text, the book does not.
Right, I know. So that always gets tricky.
Right.
Anyway,
and the one the audio that I listened to, it was chapter 45.
Gotcha.
Who knows?
Well, I never got the audio. I love Roy Dotrice doing Harry Potter, but I did not enjoy him doing Game of Thrones.
Are you a Harry Potter fan?
Huge. We have a Trivial Pursuit.
Where they're selling the hats at Target? Like you
Which
can
hats?
get it electronic. The one that puts on and separates you to Slytherin.
The sorting hat. The sorting hat. When we play Trivial Pursuit, you can add it in there, and my husband and my daughter's boyfriend get so mad because Naomi and I can answer like every.
Yeah, Nancy says me too, Carrie. Me too.
Every Harry Potter, I've got stuff hanging on the wall behind me, Harry Potter posters, a box with all the balls when he learns how to play Quidditch, and just all these a couple of Funkos of Snape and Dobby, and just collections.
I love Alan Rickman, y'all.
Yes,
he is so good. Look, I'm gonna get so girl nerdy on you guys. I can't help it, but he is so good in Sense and Sensibility. When he plays, oh my god. Yeah, I love Alan Rickman when you see him in a movie and you're like, is that Professor
he
Snape?
Was the best. I was taking a quiz on Amino, which on Amino I've done quizzes on mainly Westworld and stuff, but I'm under Aries girl 29, and that's Aries like the zodiac sign.
Right, I gotcha.
29. So that's where I do things on Amino.
Cool.
But I love quizzes and trivia and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't play very much, but I like games.
Yes.
I do. I like games.
We might get the Harry Potter Clue game pretty soon.
Okay. What did I do with my notes?
Okay, you just mentioned.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm totally going off subject. Sorry again, Eduardo. I don't know if you're still there, but I told you about my awesome hat. And you just mentioned the chicken hat. So this is my awesome cowboy hat that
I love it.
Has like stories to tell.
Yeah.
Many. So.
I love it.
Bubba Husky says Alan Rickman in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Yes.
Those are both awesome.
Okay, who thinks that Gendry is going to end up being Cersei? Does anybody think that Gendry is actually going to end up being Cersei's kid?
Definitely.
You definitely think that, Carrie?
Yes, I definitely do.
You know what? When somebody mentioned that, like, well, I did think so when he first was talking about his mom, and when I was reading about it. This isn't about like all the fan blah 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 on YouTube. I was like,
okay,
and they talked about how she used to sneak out all the time, and that's when, and nobody ever mentions this, and this is like.
Okay, and that's what we're getting. Septa Shayna's secret says in the books, yes. In the books, yes.
But yes,
because she does sneak out in the books and enjoy dressing up in common clothing, and then Stacey is saying no way, no way.
But listen, okay, let me finish. So like, they would like switch role reversal, right? Like as kids, because they look so much alike. So everybody would focus on Cersei playing the dude, right? Nobody ever talks about how that means Jamie was wearing a dress. Nobody ever says that. Of course, I think about that because some people know about me, and that would be him in a long skirty dress. But
you're right.
I'm just saying
that's funny.
Maybe it gives him a little bit different.
And one of her outfits was a tavern wench.
Yep.
So
she
one of her costumes.
Get out and live life on the town, which, God bless them. I can't imagine.
I know. And maybe she had.
Even though they were in the court and had like the life way better than everybody else, like way better than Flea Bottom, but everything they did was completely dictated and they had no freedom of their own. I mean, I'm just talking like think of like Lady Di and how bad she flipped when she thought she was going to have fairy tale life, and then she got there and was like, holy crap, this is donkey balls. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be a friend.
Speaking of, I know we're, it's a conversation amongst friends. It's a different group now. Who watched The Royals? Come on, everybody admit who watched
I've been wanting to.
I watched it on like, I have like the prom tom where it records. I didn't watch it when it came on, but this afternoon when, there wasn't anything on and I was kind of at home, I watched it. It was kind of interesting. The first episode was more about Elizabeth and her father and the abdication. And I guess the part 2, they're going to be getting into the next generation or whatever, but I watched it. I'll admit it.
I don't even know what you're talking about. That I'm completely oblivious to TV.
If you like Stephen King, there's a new show on Netflix called Castle Rock that's going to be a puzzle. You don't like Stephen King?
I see where Lav is doing a show. She does a review of that show, and I didn't know.
Castle Rock.
I'll tell you guys what I have been watching. I have been watching The Sinner.
Sharp. Oh.
I've been watching Sharp Objects.
All right, wait. Should we get back to our chapter before we go on?
Yes.
We will.
I agree.
Okay. I'm just saying. I'm trying to reel it in.
I want to talk about Patire.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about Lord Baelish. Where do you want to go with that, Carrie?
Well, it's just the first time I saw him, in the chapter after Pycelle had visited Ned, giving him milk of the poppy and blah blah. And let's see, Littlefinger came calling an hour after Grand Maester Cladden, his blah blah blah. I cannot visit long, about Lady Tanda having lunch, and asks about his leg. I mean, just what a manipulator he is. And Ned's asking about the king, and then they talk about, I believe he'd stay in the forest until you and the queen both die of old age. Then they talk about the white hart and stuff, and Robert was so mad the wolves had eaten it. He heard about the boar. And so whatever else you guys, Ned, whatever else you guys want to say about Peter Baelish, go for it.
I guess all I want to say about him is it basically seems to me that both Baelish and Varys sat back and watched shit jump off between the Lannisters and the Starks, and it kind of helped precipitate it because both what they wanted was the chaos.
Mainly Littlefinger. Varys didn't want war. He wanted, to keep it as not non-violent as possible.
Well, and I would say Varys had more of a step by step, like he had a plan with timing, whereas Petyr had the plan of always creating chaos, whatever.
Chaos.
He was a total pot stirrer, as I would say. One who likes to stir the pot.
Yes. I can think of plenty of names for him, but that's a good one.
Amen to that.
Okay, Bubba says Littlefinger's been shit on by everyone in his life.
Not everyone. Yeah, get over it, Petyr.
I know.
Sorry, sorry, Bubba.
Golly, always see one of Bubba's favorites. That's too bad. I wish, I don't have the empathy. I'm in Camp Varys as far as bad. Is he a bad guy? Is he a bad guy?
Man, I don't know. The TV show to me paints Varys as better than he is in the books, as it does several of the characters. I think Varys would definitely be somebody who is portrayed more benevolent on the television show than he is in the source material.
Varys' goal, step by step, I think, is to get a Targaryen on the throne. That's like his main goal.
I didn't get bad guy from even reading the books, but then again, I haven't read.
Be right back, you guys. I'm sorry, I have to TT.
Okay.
So I didn't read. I have not read all of the books twice yet, so perhaps I
have
more light shed on that as
lots of times.
But also it's Tyrion, but he was one of my favorite characters too, and I didn't see him as dark as everybody said. I mean, I could see glimpses of darkness, but I always could justify that.
Yes. Same with Arya. I mean, I have a big poster of her and some shirts and stuff, and I'm a huge fan of hers. Well, and last season, they messed up her character so bad.
Yeah.
They really, really did.
I concur with that so much.
It pissed me off, but it wasn't too terrible that she can't be redeemed.
I'm curious. Even though, we're off the timeout of the chapter again.
Okay.
So, with the blindness thing, I think I'm totally the only one who thinks this in the whole wide world. Everybody said no in the books. It wasn't a punishment. It was just a test. But I thought it was a punishment. I thought like she had done something that she ought not to have, and that was like
it was killing Darian from the Night's Watch. I think so.
Yeah. And so I thought it was a punishment.
It was
in the books.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you guys on
like,
to?
It was just a part of the training, and that was BS in the books. Why they made it a punishment? And I was like, no, it wasn't.
It was.
She was blinded in the books.
Right.
Yay.
Yeah.
So, yes, you agree with me.
Okay, in the chat, Stacy says, laugh out loud, cry me a river, Littlefinger, can't stand him. Then Stacy goes on to say, or a Blackfriar on the throne, maybe. Now, I definitely think that in the books, Stacy, that's what I think is going on with the whole Varys thing in the books. I think behind Aegon or whatever. Bubba Husky says,
I was like, wait, what's Bubba's point? Nancy gave him a thumbs up.
Bubba says his parents sent him off to those damnable Tullys. Cat broke his heart. Lysa raped him. Edmure seconded for Brandon in the duel.
Raped him.
Away after his injury/defeat. And you know what? Out of all the things, I think that was kicking him when he was down. That was insult to injury. Okay, you learned a lesson there. You know, don't use the term lightly. And he even says this specifically in the show. You know, that he went back and he learned, information is he learned to be good at what he could do, kind of like Tyrion. Tyrion knows he's not really a fighter. Now, we have seen Tyrion defend himself, but, you have to play to your strengths. But I think that was the worst blow, was the fact that he was just doing what he thought was the right thing, and he got punished for it, not only after he almost died.
Well, I have a couple of points about that. Lysa did not rape him. Okay, Bubba, I'm sorry. I don't agree with that one bit. And hasn't everyone been kicked when they're down? I mean, I
certainly have to.
I remember it's something Peter says.
Are you talking about here?
Yeah, it's something Peter says in the brothel. I learned I can't fight their way. I'm just going to screw them, that kind of way. Like that's how I'm going to fight back.
Just like Tyrion said, a mind needs books like a sword needs a whetstone. You see people who learn, okay, maybe I'm not this, I'm not that. Even from Cersei, she knows that one of her powers is her sex. And she's losing that as she ages, and she's finding that difficult to deal with.
Well, she also made a pass at Ned, which was stupid.
Right. He's so straight, he don't even pee in the shower or the watering hole or whatever.
Oh dear. Hold on, I got low battery. But what I was gonna say with Peter Baelish, so you said he does what he's good at. So so he's good at being. So you're saying, in Bubba's defense, the poor boy was raped by God. Okay, so, sorry, I'm dealing with technical difficulties. There, hello. Okay, so he's good at being a pimp then. Wow, really. Congratulations.
Septishana says, okay, Jorah gets the Widow of the Waterfront gloves, but she won't touch them. What are the gloves signifying here and in general? Okay, Septishana, we on Eddard 12, girl. What? No. I don't know. And then you're like, and I love you. I do, but you getting way ahead here.
Wait, what did she ask?
Something about gloves. That's all I caught of that.
About Jorah booking passage with the Widow of the Waterfront for him and Tyrion when he is taking Tyrion captured, I would imagine. And look, I really, I don't know. We're not there yet, but
I don't even remember who the widow of the waterfront is.
I don't know.
Sounds like a fishwife.
Okay.
I don't know though. That's a guess.
Okay.
All right, and we've got Eduardo basically saying that explains it all, justifies nothing, just my opinion, talking about it doesn't matter what Baelish has been through. He's a shit. And pretty much Stacy believes the same thing here. Yeah, Eddard is the hand. The hand is an important symbol. I got you. Hey, Chrissy, what's up, girl?
Hey, Chrissy.
Hey, Chrissy.
It's fine. I know how it is, Chrissy. Sometimes I don't get my notifications, and it kills me when I miss, sometimes I'm really looking for my new podcast or whatever. So I actually can go onto YouTube quite a few times and see where I didn't get a notification and I have a comment or somebody went live. So you guys, if you ever think it takes me a while to get back or whatever, it's because I have so much stuff on my phone that message is constantly on it talking about you have too much stuff on your phone, and it makes my phone go slow and it messes with my notifications and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, me too.
So
me too.
So I don't know, but yeah, you're right. Definitely the hand means is a huge symbol in the story, and we certainly haven't got to those chapters yet. And I'm just going to say that we'll just have to.
You're just smart.
We'll just have to talk about that when I see something more to that effect. Like we didn't really see too much in this. I mean, the only early hand reference I can think of is when Jamie tells Eddard that then don't they say if the king shits, the hand wipes his ass or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, in this one, when the people from Share, Mumbersford, Windishtown,
no, you're good.
All the people,
you won't accept this.
all the people, they thought Ned was the king, and they're only a few days' ride away, even though he was dressed, in the Stark colors, black, gray, and white, which he refers to as the colors of truth, and and he doesn't trust a man that's on their knees and things like that. So that the symbol, the pin, the hand of the king pin, it's there, but not everyone knows exactly what that means.
Well, and it was interesting, Nancy. I mean, Carrie. Sorry, I just saw Nancy's name there, saying, "Hey, thank you for saying
hi."
But I thought that was interesting also, but just how annoyed he was with that. And that just tells you how different the North is from the South, like the capital. But his daughter knew how to act at court. Like she was always on her knees, like when referring to King Joffrey, even when he was super evil and ripping off her clothes and telling his Sir Meryn Trent to beat the crap out of her, and
or pointing his crossbow at her.
Yeah, all those things.
All right, Bubba Husky. Bubba Husky has to head to work. Man, you have a good night at work.
Have a good evening.
Night, Bubba.
Good night, Bubba.
Thank you for popping by, Bubba. I really appreciate it.
And how he also can't the North is so huge, and he's just annoyed with somebody like just one village over who doesn't. Well, guess what, Ned? They live their life where they are. No, they don't know what happens.
They're farmers.
They never had a reason to go see the king. So don't be annoyed with them that they don't know what the king looks like, and they don't. They never had anybody come through their village, killing everybody, and it was just kind of so. There he was a little bit arrogant and judgmental, but also he's had his leg smashed to bits and he's in crazy pain and doing
and sitting in that awful chair
he loathes, right? Like he didn't want to even be Lord of Winterfell, let alone be Hand of the King, now doing the king's work at court,
Right.
So excuse me for one moment.
Go ahead.
You know, I think another problem that we have here is whether Ned shows it or not, he's quite resentful. I don't think that he wanted to be hand of the king at all. He even says as much, but he feels like he can't say no. And as a person who can be quite a pushover, I will do something and then sometimes maybe be resentful and, you know, I should have held my ground to begin with, because then it just makes it worse than if I'd have just said from the beginning, no, I really don't want to. And I'll end up taking on too much.
It's crazy how the book and show switched. Catelyn and Ned, she wanted him to go.
Yeah.
He didn't want to, and he didn't want to.
In fact, she's all like, well, you know, and at the time, before she got the Raven from her sister, everything like that, I think Catelyn couldn't have been happier. It put her girl, it put all of her children, you know, in a very good position.
Right. And then her taking Tyrion captive, that was her fault for all of the stuff that happened to the people that came to court to talk about the what, you know, Maester Pycelle calls the brigands, you know, and we know who they are. I mean, come on.
We think we know who they are.
We know. Because there's Sir Raymond Derry, Carl Vance, and Mark Piper, and one of them says, yeah, Lannister brigands, you know.
They do, but there is a compelling video out. I'm not sure, but I think Preston Jacobs did it. And I tried to talk about this when we went over this chapter. I believe it was the last Eddard chapter when they're in the throne room and he sends off Beric Dondarrion and all of them. I believe Preston Jacobs has a video out. And if you listen to him, it makes sense because the people from Windishtown give kind of like they say something, but then when they say something else, it doesn't make sense. Like they say they killed everybody, woman and babe, but yeah, and you just trust me, you guys, check that out. He gives a compelling argument that maybe they were put up to coming out there to get sent out there to start the war. You know, because up to this point, it was just a little bit of tit for tat here and there. But that's really what started the full-fledged, you know, Tywin against the world.
The three knights bring these people there. And once, you know, they name all the different numbers of how many people in the group. And some lady says hundreds and hundreds.
Right.
And that's when Ned is like, okay.
Basically, the story doesn't add up if you really listen to it and take a second look at it. Well, and I can't claim credit for that. It was after watching, I believe, one of Preston Jacobs' videos.
Well, and it's honestly Tywin 101.
Right.
To send the mountain out to rape and pillage right next door to while the king is gone, while Mr. Super Honest John is sitting on the throne, to get him, and he will send his own guards out, and now he's going to be short-handed and even weaker still. It's Tywin is so clever. He's a silver fox.
That's what one of the lines is. He's as much a fox as he is a lion. So
he's a foxy lion.
He's pretty sexy too.
In the chat, what are you guys talking about, Stacy and Bubba? When did they get the Mirish lens?
Oh, from Lysa.
Oh, when she first sent the message?
Yes. It was a rider that delivered a box with the Mirish lens. Maester, oh my goodness. Their Maester at Winterfell. Lewin, thank you. He digs through it, finds a secret compartment with the message written in Lysa and Catelyn's secret handwriting.
Oh yeah, the what they say they had since they were children.
Right. And it says that the Lannisters killed her husband and to stay away from him.
So what is that? What's the significance of the Mirish lens? Tell me.
I think you can look at things through it that you wouldn't normally be able to see.
Oh.
Moni, you got a friend in the chat?
Yay!
Can you see it?
Yes.
Matt.
Hello, Matthew.
I can't see the chat.
Only because
you know, there's a way to pull it up on your computer and look at it, but I don't remember how, and I'm afraid to mess up the Hangout call. So I always watch the chat from my phone. Moni, you know my superpower is interrupting. I'm sorry. Go ahead, my babe. And your hair looks great again tonight. Both of y'all. Thank you for going curly, both of you guys. Y'all have inspired me. Mine's not curling like it used to because I've got it so blonde, but I'm not going to use a flat iron anymore.
Mine's just natural. I can't help it. So
mine is too, but my friend Gracie kept going, Jennifer, curly hair is so out of style.
Who?
My friend Gracie. Y'all meet her sometime, maybe. We make some crazy videos together. Yeah, she was telling me that. Nobody wears curly hair.
That's lying.
Like, well, I hate straight hair in my hair.
That is such a lie. A lot of people I meet are jealous of my curly hair.
No, except to Shayna. This is at our 12, babe. This is after they are in the throne room and he sends people out because of the river Windish Town attack. Isn't it? So it's 12 when he tells Cersei she needs to go into exile.
Yeah. That I know that, and she admits all of it.
She admits pushing Bran out the window. She admits to screwing Jamie and having all his kids. And then he tells her, you know, you need to leave. You, your father, your brother, your kids. And she tells him, you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. There's no middle ground.
So he says, I know why John Aaron was killed. She doesn't deny it.
No, he asked her if she tried to seduce him too.
Right.
And she gets pissed off about that, but no, she doesn't deny that's why John Aaron was killed. But we as readers know that is actually not why he was killed. Like she suspected he was getting close, but we know that it's Lysa who poisoned John Aaron.
Right,
but
because
it was also because of Littlefinger, and it wasn't his timing yet. So yeah, I think it was exactly why he was, because he was getting too close and he wasn't ready for that much chaos yet, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah,
but also, I mean, it just the honesty with these two in the Godswood, also in front of. Now we know Bran, the three-eyed crow. Bran is going to be able to see this whole conversation too, guys. So, wow.
I think Cersei just goes ahead and tells Ned, trusts him because she knows he's so honorable. But he tells her Robert's wrath will follow you, and she says, "What of my wrath, Lord Stark?"
She sure does, and that's when she says that famous line. And, you know, and really, you know, to me, you know, Cersei's not fixing to run. She's going to stand and fight, even if it means her death. She's put up, in her mind, she has done her time, putting up with him as her husband and everything else. And she's not fixing to just, you know, bow out. I mean, she's not.
Do you think he already wrote the letter to Stannis?
Probably, yes.
Okay, and I mean, because he's just
I think it happens right after that.
I mean, because he's just trying to save her and her kids, but she's like, screw you, save yourself. And at that point, if he had any idea just exactly who Cersei was, he should have slit her throat. And hightailed it out of there with his girls. Actually, in my opinion, I said last week, he should have had the girls on a boat before he even talked to Cersei.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Especially after this conversation, Don't sit there and chill and wait and look at the stars and wait for them to come out, buddy.
And Sansa running her mouth, telling Cersei they were leaving. So, everybody's being selfish and pretty dumb.
I know, but it's just like what time's wasted. Like, so you're chilling in the Godswood, just like what? No, no, dude. She just threatened you.
Right. Out now. Right, effing now.
You knew before you talked to her that your girls were in danger. So what's the difference? Like, you didn't get them on a boat yet.
Right. And when he's about to leave, Littlefinger shows up to take him to, the brothel, and they have to. So, but if y'all want to get back to this chapter, I was just looking at some stuff, that they're saying about the Lannisters and the mountain, and how it had to have been him leading everyone, and they were all in armor that was dark. There were no sigils. Do you need a brand on the body, on the corpses, a Lannister brand, to believe that this was done by the Lannisters? One of the knights says. I'm not sure if it's Derry, Vance, or Piper. And I'm kind of losing my train of thought, but it's basically the conclusion has been come to that the Lannisters are pillaging. It's called foraging, but their version of foraging is just completely damn brutal, And
also, well, with that in mind, it's funny that Ned doesn't call Tywin to court to answer.
He does.
Just sending everybody off to that, like, because the mountain is what do they call them in their like little,
the Bannerman.
Thank you. He is one of
a Lannister Bannerman.
Yes.
There was a letter sent to Tywin because Jaime knew about it when they were in the tent when Tywin was skinning the deer. If you don't appear in court within the fortnight, you'll be branded an enemy of the crown.
Oh. Wow, why is this doing this?
Well, it sounds by this point, like I said, Tywin has pretty much declared war, and I think of it as like, during the Napoleonic Wars, when the French or the English would give you a letter, and you weren't technically working for them, but you could take ships either, for them to be prizes. And I think that's probably what Tywin did was, if you'll go do this, you can keep all the stuff. And so he did it. And I think, Tywin was just waiting for the right moment to strike. Because I feel like it's a reoccurring theme that second always wants to be first.
Of course. Of course.
So, and they talk about that a lot. If you could just reach that final rung, if you could just, would you? And even Cersei kind of, you could have been king and now you're hand. So technically Ned is number 2. Robert's number 1, but it was within his reach, and it's just always about that number 1 and number 2. And
Robert is such a terrible king,
right? And a good warrior though. But like if you look at even our presidents, any of the ones who were really Eisenhower, I don't really honestly know that much about him, except for that I know that him and his wife snubbed Harry Truman and didn't have tea with them when they exited the White House, which is a tradition. I mean, even Obama didn't do that to Trump, I don't believe. And the Bushes certainly didn't do it to Obama, but Eisenhower did it to Truman. And then also Grant was also known to be a horrible president. So I think, just because you're a great military leader, that Napoleon, that does not translate into you being a good, head of state. So I think that's what we've got with Robert Baratheon, 100%.
Robert's Henry VIII, and I'm not sure if he was a tutor. I think he was.
He was a tutor. He was.
Okay. So he was a great.
Sorry, go ahead, Nancy.
No, you go ahead. It's fine.
No, just because, like, okay, every chat that I'm in, I'm always like putting songs in the chat, so now I have that song. Henry VIII, I am.
What is that, Herman's Hermit? We're getting old school up in here. That Herman's Hermit.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Nancy. That's just my idiocy. Go ahead.
You keep calling me Nancy, honey.
I'm sorry, Carrie.
Nancy is in the chat though. Shout out to Nancy.
My phone keeps saying that like it's low battery and I have it plugged in and it's throwing me. So I'm sorry. So if all of a sudden I'm going to disappear, you'll know why. Because it died.
Okay.
It's not my fault. So I apologize, Carrie. I know you're Carrie. I'm just thrown off. I'm tricking myself. And
it's okay. I do it all the time. So cognitive dissonance. You're forgiven.
Thank you. Because I mean, so thank you. All right, so I apologize. Yes, I think he's the tutor too.
Okay. So that was about Robert, and Ned's annoyed with him because he's off on his hunt and he's not there to handle this huge situation, which he's probably not going to do anything about anyway because he's so in debt to Tywin Lannister. So, what's the point?
I mean, basically, if you really look at it, Tywin owns Robert.
Yes.
He does. I mean, but then comes in the problem with the Lannisters. They are running out of money.
Mm-hmm.
So
they've already run out of money. But
nobody knows.
Right.
They've done well at keeping that a secret, but if that ever crumbles.
Well, the mines, I don't remember what season it was, but the mines hadn't produced any gold for 3 years. So they've just been borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. And, I guess from Braavos, the Iron Bank, and Littlefinger doing his tricks and stuff that he does. So
now in the books, Lady Olenna is using coins that are actually so old they don't weigh as much as the current ones. And I think maybe things do go down very similar to the show, but then when the Iron Bank gets their payment like they did in the show, it's not going to be enough because the coins aren't the same weight as because back then, even if it was coins, you went by weight because people would shave gold and stuff off of coins and whatnot. So I think that's how that's going to turn over in the book is she's going to think she's home free and she's paid it off. And then they're going to be like, nah, B, you still owe us money. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Shoot, every time I think I've got something figured out, I figure out I don't know a damn thing.
She says all the monsters are real. Let's let them kill each other and, take back our lands. How all of Westeros are their lands. Beats the shit out of me. But that's how she thinks. So I guess she thinks everybody's going to die before her. Oh, what else do we have in this chapter?
I don't know. I know when I watched the show the first time and I saw that, I had no idea Cersei would retaliate so quickly. It was like,
oh yeah,
bam. Like
I mean, it was smart. It was smart. I mean, if you're gonna get in a fight, throw the first punch in a surprising, but don't say, "Bitch, I'm finna hit you." Just throw the punch. Just throw the fucking punch. You need surprise on your side.
With the gold coat.
All right,
man. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Okay, let's just keep that clear.
Are you talking about with the gold cloaks, Jennifer? Like Ned wants them, and then Cersei manages to pay him more, or whatever the deal is.
No, I'm talking about hey Mega, Lionheart. We do this every Thursday. We just do one chapter at a time, and we just kind of bullshit. It's just a conversation amongst friends. Thanks for joining us. No, what I'm saying is literally, I appreciate that Cersei was like, this is what we're going to do. And Tyrion thought he was making all the right moves, but Cersei grew up with the same dad, and then basically what happened is Cersei and Jaime put their heads together, and they threw that first punch, and they were right. And that's why I'm just saying, in any fight, you just do it. You don't tell somebody, like, I'm finna whoop your ass. You just hit them as hard as you can and then don't stop. That's another thing. That's another mistake people make. Like, you very rare. I mean, I know personally only that time I told you about earlier when my friend Courtney, and she stole on me too, though, because I was sitting on the bed. We were in a hotel room in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I said something that was probably a little bit below the belt. I was drunk, lemon drop shots. And she hit me so hard, I fell over the back of the bed. I tasted blood. She broke my nose. That's what I'm saying. You don't say, I'm fisting to whoop your ass. You just bust somebody. And then you need that element of surprise. And that's one of the things Cersei did that was so beautiful. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm glad I took a boxing class, because I'm not a very big person, but I know how to throw a punch.
I'm just saying, I think, I mean, Cersei is actually, that was very smart. And then with Jaime's combined, he knew exactly where he thought Tyrion was going to do that. But I don't think without Cersei being there, and we're talking show now, being there to say, no, we got to, and then she knew she needed that money. If she wouldn't have got, like, before that episode even came on, like, I knew that the main thing was to see, does Cersei get that money paid to the Iron Bank? Because if not, the game was over for her. Because they would come in and basically they could come in and say, well, this is ours, and hire still swords or whatever. And I think for some reason, and I don't have a grand theory or anything, but I think that's what everybody is trying to do. I think everything in the end is over land for whatever reason.
Well, the Iron Bank gave the loan to Stannis, so they're going to fund your enemies. Or whatever, but,
right. But I mean, still, well, if we're to believe that the crown owes them so much, if Cersei's the queen, that then becomes her debt. Like when Mary the First came into her throne after Edward VI, her 17-year-old brother, who was Henry VIII's only son by his third wife, Jane Seymour. Then when she came into the crown as Mary First, she had the peoples, but England was broke as shit. But she had to take on those debts. So that's what the Iron Bank is doing. But I also think maybe they really wouldn't mind that much for somebody to fail and them to be able to come in and be like, well, this is ours, though, then. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, Bubba had an interesting question about who was in charge when everybody went up to the north to get Ned after Jon Arryn had died, to bring him back to be the Hand of the King. And I don't know. Because he figures that probably took about a year. I don't know who's next in charge. Renly, maybe? He was
Barristan.
Ooh, I don't think they'd ever put Varys in charge.
Hey, Neil.
Barristan.
Oh,
Sir Barristan.
What would he be in charge of?
Like it would be the King's Hand if the king was gone, but the King's Hand was dead. So then, who's the next down the line? I would think it was.
I mean, I don't know. Renly. You would think it would, but you know what? You would think it would be the Lord Commander of the King's Guard, maybe almost like the Speaker is the third person in line for the presidency.
No,
yeah, like if the president and the vice president die, then the Speaker of the House is acting president.
Right, but I would.
So I don't know.
He's always protecting whoever is sitting there. So I would think it was for whatever reason. I'm not sure exactly what Renly's title is. Chat, help me out. But
I mean,
Renly's a good pick. I can go with that.
He is a good pick, and he'd have popular support. But truthfully, it would be Joffrey in a regent. And what you would want to happen is you would want shit to go down like what happened when Edward the Fourth died. And Richard of Gloucester said, no, I want to be regent.
No, time out.
Because that's who's in charge till Joffrey comes of age.
No, it wouldn't. No. This is just while he was on the trip up the road. Like,
oh, like who's in charge in King's Landing?
Yes. Just like sitting like as the king's hand while he's going to get a new king's hand. So I think it's like who's ever on a small council who's the next.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I gotcha. Yes.
But Renly and Stannis and all them were already on the small council. So I think it was probably just like equal. Like y'all better not fuck shit up while I'm gone, because if he would have wanted to name somebody, he would have, and he never seemed to really like any of them.
Stannis was already gone.
Yeah, he was already gone. I think it was probably Renly. That's my guess.
Maybe. I mean, maybe. But
that's my vote.
Anybody else?
Another timeout. I have 24% left on my phone charge, and I don't have a charger back here, so if I cut out, I apologize.
Okay, says Master of Laws. Mill, are you fucking with? That wasn't even a real thing, was it?
Hey, Mill.
No, yeah, there was. Sure.
Shit.
I think so. Yes, I think so. All right.
Yeah, everybody's going with y'all. They saying Renly was probably correct.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's my best educated guess.
No, I think Milt was making that up, Septa. I think he was just being Milt, who I love. Milt is like, I think we were talking one day, we're like, what are you, a physicist or something? Or something like that. And he's like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Milt. I thought so. I thought he was. Like, yes.
Okay. No, he says he's being for real. Yes. He was the Master of Laws. Well, then that would definitely make sense. But I didn't really think that. I didn't know that. Thanks, Milt.
Yes.
I didn't get that at all.
He's I do believe he's a geophysicist, which helps a lot with Westworld when we would do discussions, because he could, help us figure out the topography of the land and that there's an island
absolutely.
and, things like that.
Also, when it comes to the doom of Westeros theory.
Right, of volcanoes.
He knows all of that because, King's
I just subscribed to you, Milt.
Not making it. Okay, thank you, Milt. I'm sorry, I honestly did not remember that at all. Thank you. No, King's justice is handled by the Master of Laws, not making it up. Thank you so much, Milt. I mean, I really didn't remember that. And normally law is my thing. So, like my hobby thing.
If nobody has anything else to say, do y'all want to go on to the part where Ned picks the men? Like, does, attain Sir Gregor, he's attainted, and he gathers up the guys to go after him. Sir Loras speaks up.
We did that chapter last week.
Yeah, we're
okay.
On the next chapter, but
yeah, okay.
But you just want to talk about it again?
No, I'm just looking through the chapter. I mean, what do you guys want to talk about? It's fine with me. That's what I'm on, and I just,
I don't remember them talking about Gregor again.
Okay, well, I'm reading. He searched the faces along the wall. Lord Beric, Thoros of Myr, Sir Vlad,
we did the chapter the week before last.
Oh, well, okay.
But it's fine.
So sorry. Damn.
The stuff is going on simultaneously, I believe.
Okay.
Milt says, hey, Carrie.
Hey, Milt, honey.
Yeah, it was that chapter when they were in the throne room, and then it was the Sansa chapter. And now we're in the chapter where he has the conversation with Cersei, talks about
Godswood.
Maester Pycelle That
I
one.
know. I just read it.
Yeah, you did. I'm sure. It wasn't even very long.
Because it's all it's all the.
You probably read both. You probably, if you listen to it on audio, because I almost didn't stop it.
Right, that's my problem. I keep reading and reading. So
okay, I gotta give Bubba Husky this because he is you know what? I admire his steadfastness in this theory. He's like, Cersei's smart and she believes in plus A, Ned and Ashara. Just saying.
I think that they could have had a baby.
Well,
I don't think it was with Ned though. I think she did have a baby with a Stark. I don't think it was with Ned though.
Oh, I think so. I think that they could have hooked up and knocked up Liz.
The Order of the Green Hand has a good video about all of that stuff.
Oh, really?
So,
okay.
Yes.
And I think that's why maybe it's their theory that why the Blackfish took off. Like when it all went down, and that's what like sent him over the edge, is when they made Ned like give up his like hush marriage to Ashara, and then
wait, not Blackfish Benjen. That's what you mean,
huh?
No,
do you mean
no, Blackfish Tully. And when Brandon was dead, to keep that alliance, so they made Ned marry Catelyn, and Ned objected and said, "Well, I'm already married." Like, and they said, "Who knows about it? Nobody. So you're gonna marry. You're
Oh, okay. And so Blackfish said, "Well, that's bullshit," and left.
And so he was like,
"You know that's what their fallout's about."
Right.
Okay.
It's just a theory. It's not. It's not mine. I think I agree. Kind of. That's how it could have gone down. But it seems to me I heard it somewhere, and forgive me out of it first.
Nancy says, "Yeah, our resident professors, Eduardo, Milt, and Bubba. That's certainly right." Well, and everybody always has something to add. But honestly, y'all, I feel like we covered everything really good.
And my phone has the battery saver on for 15%.
Right.
So
no, I think we covered everything.
I want to go ahead and say, yeah, that I enjoyed it so much, and thank you to everybody in the chat. And I want to come back, and this was just a lot of fun. Yay! Cool. I need some fun, and it was nice meeting you, Moni.
You too,
G.
Carrie, and sorry for screwing up your name over and over and over.
No, it's okay. People call me Karen, Terry. You know,
I get Jessica or Stephanie all the time.
No,
Jessica a lot.
I must have pushed Jessica.
Or Stephanie.
Yes.
It's awesome. I know who you are, and that was just my bad distraction.
That's okay. I have to write everything down.
Thank you guys so much for coming on. I thought I was going to have to be by myself, which
no,
I did. And if I had to do that, I was going to do it. But I thought that the conversation might be a little bit one-sided.
Well, I'll come on and talk about Game of Thrones, Westworld, Harry Potter. I mean, you name it, you know.
I enjoy Westworld just watching it, but I really I have no great insight. You know what I mean? I'm as dumbfounded and like WTF as anybody else about Westworld. I really am.
Season 1 was much better than 2 so far. I mean, they tried to pack too much into season 2, so. But I'm gonna go. Y'all have a great night.
All right. Well, everybody, we'll see y'all next Thursday. I'll put up in the link what chapter it is. I can't think of it right now. And it's a Daenerys chapter. I know that much. And we're gonna talk about it. Everybody, bye. Bye, chat.
Bye.